That Manchester United Arsenal result, of course, has led the week, but there were other big results. Of course, Manchester City are maintaining their 100% unbeaten record going into this international break. 4 wins in 4. I think Pep has started from where he left off last season.
Yeah.
This is another season that perhaps he will be expected to be a top contender for the trophy. Definitely, we wait to see if Arsenal can string together another decent run to try and challenge. We saw Liverpool as well winning 3-0. Your thoughts on those two results, Timothy?
I think Man City has looked back at Arsenal and have noticed that we have a challenge this season. So the earlier the better. And last season they would have dropped points by now, but they know it's until Arsenal I think chokes, then Man City will dip also. But for now, I think they are going for the jugular. Everything available, they're going to get it. So I think it was a good win. The only unfortunate part for Man City, I think they are conceding cheap goals, and in every game they seem to allow a goal or two to be scored. So it shows you the level Man City can. Pep has been missing, but he's going to come back in the next fixture. We hope he's back, injury is recovering well. And then you talked about
Liverpool.
The Liverpool. I think we all said before the show, Aston Villa was a decent side, but
they didn't show it this time.
They didn't show it. I was shocked the way Aston Villa approached this game. So it again shows you how good Liverpool is playing this game, and I think that Aston Villa win is a boost for Liverpool.
It was certainly a boost for Liverpool. Of course, there was the news that Salah might be going with. We seem to think right now that he'll be staying and is going to be one of their top marksmen. Of course, as expected, Liverpool looked good, especially without Virgil van Dijk. We thought maybe they would struggle without Konate and Van Dijk, but Matip and Gomez actually had a good game in that particular game. There, we saw Endo coming and sitting at the base of the midfield. Very interesting fixture there. Tottenham, of course, also got a very huge win.
They had a surprise package for me.
5 goals.
Even on table, they're number 2. They have 10 points. So we didn't expect after losing Harry Kane that Tottenham would actually
be scoring these many goals.
Son had a hat-trick, and they're getting goals all over the place. So Tottenham is a team to watch out for.
It's certainly very interesting. Madison has hit the ground running in that team. We expect to see more goals from Son. There will be goals for Richarlison once he starts scoring. Hopefully, last season he didn't get a single goal in the Premier League. So we expect that with the creativity, hopefully, of Madison, he can try and get himself much closer to the goal this particular season. But there was a shock result that no one has talked about, Timothy. The whole week, Nottingham came to Stamford Bridge and beat Chelsea 1-0. This is a result, team, that should have been a result of the weekend. No one has talked about it. Let's talk about it now.
Tony, I think we are right to talk about it. It is the biggest result of the weekend. Man United lost to Arsenal. I think it's because of the two camps of Man United and Arsenal. But Nottingham Forest going to the bridge and winning 1-0, I think it raises questions on Chelsea. We thought after Chelsea beat Luton Town that Chelsea maybe had come back.
Finally, they had turned the corner.
But you watch that game, and they did not dominate Nottingham Forest. No, even after Nottingham went ahead, they did not get the goals because Nottingham scored in the early minutes of the second half. But Chelsea did not impose themselves. So I think there are bigger problems at Chelsea, and if Chelsea is happy that no one is actually questioning their performances, then there's a bigger problem for Pochettino.
That's definitely it's a big problem. Almost a billion pounds spent on this squad in a very short time. Not even 2 years. That money has been spent on this squad. They brought in a new manager. We are expecting them to be doing much bigger things. And of course, hosting a club, Nottingham. We talked about the threat that Nottingham possess. Awoniyi has been in the form of his life, and he assisted the Langer goal in this particular fixture as well. We didn't expect Chelsea to be looking like this. They brought in big signings. They brought in really top players in almost every position. Nicholas Jackson. Let's talk about the miss that this guy had. He hasn't yet convinced. And we thought with the tapping that he had against Luton Town, which was a poacher's goal, a very decent goal, well taken. again,
The miss was a poacher's
the miss the miss that he had, just
if
very
you can
close to
score
goal.
something similar against Luton, then this should also be able to.
You need to, I really, Chelsea fans, tell us what you think about Nicholas Jackson. I think perhaps he definitely needs more time for us to judge him. The early signs, Timothy, look like this guy might be a flop. I think.
No, I think he's one for the future because Nkuku was supposed to have started as a number 9 as Nicholas Jackson grows into that team, but now that Nkuku is injured, he has to be there alone. But for me, the Chelsea problem is bigger than Nicholas Jackson. I think you cannot host Nottingham Forest at home
And play 5 defenders.
whether you call it a back 3, back 2.
Oh, no, there's no English to explain
Yes,
that.
you cannot play 5 natural defenders. Chilwell is a defender and he's playing almost like a number 10. You have to reshuffle that lineup. I think for me, Chilwell is an attacking defender. So play Chilwell at the back. One of the Colwells, I don't know, has to sit. And then you have maybe, what's his name? The one from Zinchenko's partner, what's his name? Mudryk. Mudryk has to play. He has to get game time. If you're not going to give Mudryk game time, how is he going to discover his potential?
It was certainly very interesting looking at this Chelsea side losing to Nottingham Forest now. Of course, is it another season where they'll perhaps struggle to get into the top half of the table? We know last season they finished in 12th.
Yeah.
So if they continue with performances like this
And
at home,
as of now, they are still in the lower half of the table.
very, very interesting. Pochettino will have to use this break to start thinking about some of those points. They cannot continue playing a defensive side with all the signings that they've had. We know that they've also brought in David Washington up front as another reinforcement. So all these guys, you need to give them a chance. We need to see Chelsea starting to really play the attacking football. Raheem Sterling was dropped out of the England side. He's one of the mainstays in that England side. So that's one of the signs that perhaps things are not going as well for this Chelsea team.
Yeah, when a team is performing poorly, coaches always try to underlook their players, and I think that is hurting Sterling because at Man City he always got picked out even if he was playing as second fiddle. But now at Chelsea, even if he has game time, it's not helping the English coach to pick him.
If this was a game that he was supposed to show the coach what he was missing, it certainly failed the test.
He failed his audition, and I think Sterling did not do what he deserved. He got the 2 goals. We thought maybe get more 2 here, then the
coach will
look into you. And then his behavior was not good. He went and ranted when he was not picked, and we know Grealish has not gone with the team, and he should have been the replacement. Gareth Southgate deciding to go with the remaining players.
Very, very interesting. We'll see what happens over the international break. Will the teams come back with injuries? Usually it's a concern after a long travels for most of the teams. It certainly will be very, very interesting to see. We'll be coming back next week once the international break is completed. Enjoy. We know it will be a long one, but have a lovely one.